Hello everyone, this is Don and I'm updating information about a shooting that I reported on last week about San Bernardino. This is just an update because I still have some questions and concerns about how this whole event may have been staged to draw the U.S. troops back into the Mideast to have them become involved with a World War III scenario with the 12 or 13 or 14 other nations now that have been drawn into the Syria region to battle ISIS. And, if I'm wrong here, I am sure happy to admit it and to apologize to any grief I may cause to others who were involved in this horrific tragedy. But at the same time, I believe it's very important that the facts be made clear about this whole scenario, because here's the question I have again. If someone were to want to draw up American anxiety, angst, suspicion, and hype up the war on terror, what might they do to bring that reality into place and get the public furor up in a rage? So let's just take a listen to a couple of clips. I'm going to comment and I'm going to make some new revelations analysis.
As the investigation has progressed, we have learned and believe that both subjects were radicalized and have been for quite some time.
For the first time, a picture has emerged of the attackers together.
Okay, before we go further, as the investigation has progressed, what are they investigating? The suspected couple. They're not investigating much of anything to do with the actual event. Okay, they're not showing us real direct evidence of what took place that day by eyewitnesses and dash cam footage, body cam footage that could, definitely prove that this was the couple. And I'm going to bring out some facts of new data, new information, which brings this couple's involvement into question.
The photo was snapped as the married couple passed through customs at Chicago's O'Hare Airport in July 2014. U.S. officials believe Farouk's wife, Tashfeen Malik, had been radicalized before stepping foot in the U.S., raising alarm bells about the fiancé visa she came in on.
Okay, let's pause that. Let's go over to some comments about her background. This is Sayyl Farouk's new bride, Tashfeen Malik. This is what her sister had to say. I had no idea who she is pledging allegiance to. She's never mentioned any political thing. And the report this last week into her quote background is that she had made recent pledge to ISIS's leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. And then we find out more facts about Sayyid Farouk, her husband's allegiance, and revelations about his lining up with ISIS ideology. And this is actually to be expected in what I've been worried about all along. Her sister talked about wanting to be able to adopt the baby that they left behind. And, she goes on, though, to say, she was in shock that this actually happened, that this actually took place, that her sister, who was a polite, submissive young lady in all of her schooling, would become so radicalized. And this is backed up by what others have said about her. There's a couple other, let's see if I can find it here. This is statements from her relatives in Pakistan talking about her background. Let's go. Get rid of the ads that want to pop up there. Okay. She has dishonored Pakistan. We don't want Muslims to do such thing. This is her family background. Such people should be punished, must be punished. This is different reactions by her family. This is the people she was closest to. She was a good girl. I don't know why she left or what happened to her female teacher. Now, can people be radicalized? Yes, they can, according to their religious dogma that they're taught. But that doesn't mean this couple was radicalized. Okay, let's go to another. This is now the buildup that I'm worried about. We have the left trying to do everything they can to prevent such acts and limit the use of guns, even to the fact of how can Mark Zuckerberg use Facebook to help limit gun access in America. That's to be expected. And then on the right, we've had, of course, this national address by the president talking about how America must go deeper into the fight against ISIS. And now polls reflect that most Americans are saying exactly what I feared, is that this would, now they were required that we should send in troops. And, you know, you can read these articles for yourself, but the hype up, the ramp up for war is continuing. And of course, you know, the big address to the nation. Now, this is the real interview I want to play here. I'm not going to play it all, but this is from this lady.
We went into my manager's office.
She's going to discuss the actual sightings that she saw of the shooters. There's a couple sections I want to bring out.
Office, locked the door, barricaded it. We heard running and things happening upstairs. About 30 minutes later, someone came to the door, knocked on the door, but we didn't obviously answer. And then another 15 minutes later, someone came and took us into a secure room.
Ms. Abdelmagee, can you describe to me in as much detail as you can, what did the gunman look like?
I couldn't see his face. He had a black hat on, and from my view, all I could see was just a black hat and black long sleeve shirt, possibly gloves on. He had black cargo pants on, but kind of with the zippers on the sides and the big puffy pockets. He had a huge assault rifle, and he had extra ammo. He's coming ready for something to reload. I don't know. He had like magazines.
Okay, that's the description of the first single gunman. I'm going to play it here.
The witnesses today is Sayyl
I want to show you the number of shooters.
Abeldelmagee, who works at the Inland Regional Center, the building where the attack took place. She saw the attackers enter the building, and we spoke to her by phone.
I heard shots fired, and it was, you know, from an automatic weapon. So, you know, it's very unusual. Why would we hear shots? As we look out the window, a second set of shots goes off, and it's just pop, 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 pop. And we saw a man fall to the floor. Then we just looked, and we saw 3 men dressed in all black military attire with vests on. They're holding assault rifles, and they opened up the door to building 3, and one of them opens up the door to building 3. He starts to shoot. He just, you know, shoots all over into the room. That's the room that we typically have conferences in.
Okay, so I'll leave that one there. So you now hear her say again 3. Now it's right near the end of the interview. Notice how the reporter wants to go into specifics about the shooters.
And he had extra ammo. He's coming ready for something to reload. I don't know. He had like magazines. I couldn't see what else. I just saw 3 dressed exactly the same.
You're certain that you saw 3 men?
Yes. It looks like their skin color was white. They looked like they were athletic build, and they appeared to be tall.
And of course, we've just learned that one of the suspects was actually a woman.
Okay.
At
3.
Wayfair.com.
It said she specified 3 gunmen. 1 appeared to be white, muscular build, and tall. Here's a picture today that was released over the internet about the couple. Let's see if I can find the right one. Coming in last year as they were going through O'Hara Airport. Does Malik appear to be muscular, tall? I'm going to let you think about that and decide for yourself. But this wasn't the only person that first reported 3 shooters, that they were all unidentifiable because they were wearing all black attire. It's been confirmed they didn't have body armor. They had load-bearing vests that had pockets for magazines, extra magazines. They were super sharp, sharpshooters. Okay. Earlier, another report today said that Malik was a terrific shot. Okay, so she's a terrific shot, and there were 76 shell casings found at the SUV. Yet there's been no proof of any gunfire, any gun smoke shown from any of the vehicles firing that went on. There's no proof of any or photos. I've gone extensively searching around the internet to find some kind of video or photos that showed damage to any of the police cars, which of course the police would be hunkered down behind. If she's a terrific shot, you would expect to see different photos of all of these vehicles that have been shot up, windows shot out, holes in the police cars. I found no photos or videos of that. There's only one video that I had found even relating to this incident that showed the direct evidence. And in this video, it basically just talks about the incident scene, not the SUV scene, where they basically had, cars arriving and they were asking for information. Nobody knew anything at that time. But, all we need is some dash cam footage. All those police vehicles that were following, that were arriving on the scene, should have had dash cam footage available. There should be pictures and photos of all the busted out windows and the cop cars that were shot up. If she's such a terrific shot, and how again was she able to unload her weapon? Or if it's Sayyid, the story gets so convoluted now. How could they empty those magazines in about 20 seconds of horrific hail of gunfire on that location? How is that possible? To switch out 3 or 4 magazines that it took to fire off 76 rounds. And we've seen bystander footage where there was no firing until the vehicle had stopped. So why not just show the dash cam footage that shows them? Because you can't go on hearsay evidence from people that are at the horrific shooting scene where there's a lot of trauma involved and stuff, and somebody say, oh, I think it was Farouk. And you can't use that evidence to go chase them down and then them flee, what we've already talked about, back into the scene of the crime from their home 15 minutes away, and then just mow them down in a hail of gunfire without some kind of direct evidence of there being violence. So they had to be shooting at the officers for them to unload like that on them. So why not show us that evidence, the dash cam footage? Why not show us this evidence of her shooting, I guess, from the street or something, at all these officers? There was one officer, unfortunately, who was hurt, and they said the bullet was, not direct gunfire, it was a ricochet. Well, did that come from her, or did that come from crossfire between the police as they surrounded this vehicle and started unloading? But I want to just go back again to the main point here. Does this look like a muscular, tall, well-built, muscular shooter? You decide.